People of the internet, today Bert Kreischer gets another reality check, but this time from Chris Distefano. And today we are going to watch that, but we want to see if Bert Kreischer will change who he is, will make himself a better man, or will he go on to more podcasts for more reality checks and more great content for YouTube. So without further ado, we're going to watch Podcast Cringes. Chris Distefano gives Bert Kreischer a reality check. So please go like and subscribe if you like this channel. And let's see what we have to say. We haven't made our minds up yet, but Bert might just change.
Back, and I am so lucky that I took my shirt off.
Yeah.
I posted that machine clip, and I met Joe Rogan. Those are my three things.
Three things. Easy cheese pasteurized, 2 out of 100. Additives, 5 additives, too high risk. Oh my God. Current intake exceeds recommendations, have a harmful effect on the kidneys and increased risk of cardiovascular disease.
I'm trying not to drink.
Does Bert Kreischer look like really sick and they're trying to cover it up with makeup? He does not look good, man. He looks like his liver might be failing. If I were to guess, he just looks like those people where their liver fails and they start to look sick and pale. Anyways.
Drink tonight.
Okay.
But
you just literally told me you're going to drink before couples therapy, which is in 50 minutes.
No one brought me one.
Chris Distefano is building a reputation for being an ego killer, kind of like Stavros Halkias and Mark Normand. These are the rare breed of top 250 comedy assassins who aren't afraid to call out their brethren and keep them in check. And we saw this.
What? What? Are we now glazing Chris Distefano? Is that what's happening here? This guy that like sold his house and made his kids and wife move into a tent in New York City? Are we talking about this Chris Distefano as being an ego killer? I'm sorry, Chris Distefano putting a reality check on who? Dude, that guy is batshit crazy. Batshit. Like Chris Distefano is like legit a mental case. I don't want to say that. I'm no doctor, but he's wild.
This recently when Chrissy D went on JRE with his podcasting buddy Yanis Pappas and basically trolled Rogan the whole time. But we've seen him before on Bert's podcasts, feeding Bert's ego and then calling him out in the next breath, so it's sort of become Chrissy's shtick to play the fool whenever he's on a podcast, and honestly, these are the best episodes in my opinion. He's obviously friends with all these guys, but he also recognizes that they have egos the size of elephants and uses that to make the podcast bearable to listen to. And of course, we can't forget that he's become a massive fan of this channel.
Oh, wow, there's a whole...
Is he... is this what happened? Is now because he's a friend, like Chris Distefano is like this good guy. I think Chris Distefano has a giant ego, because if we remember before Podcast Cringe started glazing this guy real hard in this episode, Chris Distefano like basically ruined his kid's life, his wife's life, all because of his anxiety, the things he was hearing in his head. So I don't know where this Chris Distefano is like the light of the ego. I understand. I could say, yes, he understands he has an ego, but he has just as big an ego, but just in a different way, you know, like,
So I called Podcast Cringe.
Yeah, I subscribe to them.
Yeah, no, this guy rules. He's a great channel. He like covers pretty much all the content.
And what does he do? Like,
these are probably your friends, so you know, you could cut out whatever if I trash any of your friends. Oh,
so it's better if you're not on this. It's better if you're not a part of
You
this.
don't want to be on this.
Okay.
But as usual, instead of rocking up to YMH Studios to interview Bert and discuss his latest therapy session, he actually came with something up his sleeve. We've seen this before, and like I was just saying, these are by far the best episodes. Whenever a guest picks apart
I'm smoking cheddar cheese, man. It's some good shit.
Bart's life and makes him realize how delusional he is, it makes for an A-grade viewing experience. Like the time Andrew Huberman explained to Bert that having more than 2 drinks per week damages your brain over time, or when Tony Hinchcliffe went on 2 Bears straight after the Tom Brady roast and kept trolling them because they bombed on live TV. And of course, we can't forget just last month when Ari went on 2 Bears and told Bert that he was the reason why Sober October got cancelled over on JR JRE, and Bert threw a temper tantrum and went so red in the face that he looked like he was literally about to burst. Actually, that reminds me, by the way, guys, just in case you missed it, I just dropped a video over on Patreon covering Bert's appearance on Theo Von's podcast last week, and in that episode, Bert actually admits that he's had to start wearing makeup on his podcast.
Whoa! I don't really watch podcast cringe. I only watch videos that I like make reacts to, right? So that's really crazy because I didn't see that episode. And it's like, it is like, look, it's so noticeable. Is it because he's sick? All right, if he says it's because he's sick, we all win a pizza party. You remember those little personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut when you'd read books? Oh, bro, bring those back. Those things were, Pizza Hut used to be the jam back in the day. Who remembers how good Pizza Hut was? Pizza Hut was an experience back in the day.
Because his face is so red and bloated. I remember seeing a bunch of comments saying the same thing on my last video about Bert with Kevin Nealon as the guest, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe he is wearing makeup, but now we have confirmation from the man himself,
yeah, you can see
because, according to Bert, is one of the side effects of being on TRT.
One of the TRT, he does not. Okay, wow, that's what that. So TRT, oof. Anyways, you can always tell because a lot of people ignore their neck, so you can see the color of their face and the color of their neck different. They're usually wearing makeup. I mean, not all the time. There's tans and stuff, but you could see it. You know what I'm talking about.
For those of you who don't know, Joe Rogan has introduced a few of his buddies to testosterone replacement therapy, which is usually reserved for middle-aged men with hormonal imbalances and deficiencies, but in their case, they use it recreationally to improve their muscle mass and to look and feel better. However, in that episode with Theo, Bert openly admitted that he uses it purely so he can continue to party hard and keep drinking, despite the long list of dangerous side effects of using TRT without a relevant underlying health condition. Bert's obviously unaware of the pressure that all of that test puts on your heart, arteries, and kidneys, not to mention the hair loss, high blood pressure, and puffy red face that he has to put makeup on to cover up.
I bet that's from alcoholism. I don't know about that because TRT makes you feel like a fucking champ, man. If you ever have to do it for some like treatment, it makes you sleep so good. You are hornier than, wow, man. You're ready to go all the time, and you like feel good. Puffy face. Well, I don't know, like, I don't know what the whole, I don't want to go down the TRT road. Anyways, I'm just saying, this dude's an alcoholic. I don't think that's from TRT. I think that's from his alcoholism.
Combine that with his heavy drinking and you have a recipe for disaster. But thanks to Chrissy D, it looks like Bert's got even more to worry about than we initially thought.
Oh.
Yuka app? Dude, this app, dude, go get the Yuka app. Do you have like food here? You have like packaged food?
Yeah.
Bring me a package of some food.
Is someone listening downstairs?
Yeah.
I need a Yuka app, and I need a bunch of the food that I eat all the time.
Yes, I have the Yuka app. Just bring me up some packaged food. We're going to start scanning shit, and you're going to start to be horrified at what's in the food.
Those protein chips I eat all the time.
Yes, bring those in.
And nothing that's a sponsor.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't know if Chrissy just got a sponsorship or something from Yuka. He said him and his family just discovered it and he's super excited about it. Kind of like the time Rogan, Bert, Tom, Schultz, and Schwab all discovered nicotine pouches in the same month and wouldn't shut the fuck up about them. And then it turned out that none of them had sponsorships, they were just really into them. But then it turned out that they had received boxes and boxes of them for free, which is still classified as a sponsorship. Seriously, the only thing worse than shilling for big tobacco is doing it for free. But at least Chrissy's pushing something that's good for you and can actually help you clean up your diet. This is exactly what someone like Bert Kreischer needs.
For example, you scan Entenmann's donuts, which I know donuts are not healthy. Everybody knows.
Hey, just quick before we go on. Protein chips, the wild protein chips, the buffalo, they're chicken protein chips. I hope they don't say anything bad. Those things are, dude, next level chip experience. Like, I'm not a big chip guy. You know, I'm not big, but those next level, and you don't feel bad because it's just protein from chicken, and it tastes like you're eating a buffalo chicken sandwich. I don't know how they do it, but I heard protein chips, and I had to look up the name, and those ones are good.
That. But when you scan Entenmann's donuts, a possible score, like spinach gets 100 out of 100. Entenmann's gets a 0 out of 100 with 10 additives in there that all cause cancer. The redder the additive, the more it causes cancer.
But, I didn't need.
Why would you bring up, like, I thought he was going to say some like stuff in like some types of meat packages. Like, of course, Entenmann's donuts are terrible, right? Normally, if you want to like stay healthy, just eat single ingredient foods. All these things they put in, even the organic stuff is kind of like, ugh. And then you look at all these people like with the vegan foods and stuff, but all that food's made with a ton of oil and stuff. So it's like, you can't really win unless you just eat like an apple or beef or chicken, or, you know what I mean? Or beans and rice, right? Anyways, this isn't Andrew Huberman's podcast. Let's
Need this app to tell you this
who
spinach
am I?
is going to be healthier than Edamame.
I was just at the Coffee Fix bagel store in LA yesterday, and I went to go get a protein bar with my egg sandwich, and I scanned one protein bar, one flavor, the same protein bar. I scanned one flavor, it got a 30 out of 100, and the other flavor got an 80 out of 100.
So while Chrissy was explaining how the app works, one of Bert's 15 staff members brought up some of his favorite snacks from downstairs so that Chrissy could run them through the scanner. Now, while you're watching this compilation, just remember, according to this app, you shouldn't be eating anything with a score below 50. Take a wild guess where Bert's favorite snacks came in at.
Let's bring it in.
Oh,
Get
Here
scanned.
we go. Oh, just start with
my
Cheese
God.
Whiz. Start with Cheese Whiz.
Cheese
Easy
Whiz. I'm going to scan
Easy
this.
cheese. I do this
She's
a lot.
good. I scanned her. She's good. She's 100 out of 100.
Easy cheese.
Here we go. Cheese Whiz.
Yes.
Oh my God, a 2 out of 100. Holy shit. Easy cheese pasteurized, 2 out of 100. Additives, 5 additives, 2 high risk. Oh my God. Current intake exceeds recommendations.
Dude, right there.
Have a harmful effect on the kidneys. And
What was that? Look.
Current intake.
There it is, folks. Look at his face. This is alcoholism. And you see what I told you about the makeup neck? Look at his neck. It's all red right here. You can see the alcoholism. You can see on his ears that it's red right in there too. And then white. And on his nose, you could see they powdered his nose. It's so wild. It is really wild.
Exceeds recommendations, have a harmful effect on the kidneys and increased risk of cardiovascular disease. I mean, so this one's f***ing out.
The other day, let me tell you the meal I had with this. I had an Oscar Mayer wiener with a Twinkie as a bun,
Right.
cut in half, with this on top.
Amazing.
It was so good.
I guarantee you, I haven't been home, but I guarantee you that was my 3-year-old's exact lunch. Which one do you think
Dude,
is
that's so
possibly gonna be good?
terrible.
Which one out of these do you think is healthy?
Quest.
Here we go. Let's see. 16 out of 100. Oh, bad. Dude, let me tell you something.
They're not a sponsor, right? I think I just buy them because they're keto.
Dude, the additives are f***ing crazy. But this has calcium carbonate. This has all these things linked to cancer, linked to heart disease.
All right, go.
Here,
Hang on.
nerds will be good.
Nerds will be good.
Nerds will be healthy. Let's see what nerds are. I guarantee you, if nerds even gets 1 point, I'd be shocked. Nerds is 4 out of 100.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, get these the fuck out of here.
Hang on. 0 carb.
All right, let's go.
Mission tortillas.
No, don't make them
these.
bad. Please don't.
24 out of 100, folks.
It's not bad considering my diet's been in the 18s.
Not bad since but it's got 10 additives. These 6 of them are high risk that are directly linked to
Jesus
cancer.
Christ, mayonnaise. Go mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Come on, mayonnaise. Come on, mayonnaise. You're on everything.
Come on, let's
You're
go
on
mayonnaise.
everything. You're on everything.
This is a 15 out of 100.
Jesus Christ.
This is a 15 out of 100.
Do
dude.
I eat anything above 50? You guys
Keto
are-
coconut mix, 17 out of 100, folks. See you later.
Yeah.
Oh, edamame. The Japanese are healthy. Let's
They
see what
live
the
forever,
Japanese are doing.
Unless it was World War II.
Yeah, exactly. Japanese, 51 out of 100.
It's not bad. I'll eat it.
Not bad. 50 and over, and it's good. It says good. It's green. But, dude, can you believe that?
I'm getting that Yuka app.
Bert seriously has the diet of a fucking toddler. Is there anything this guy does that's actually healthy? He's even fucked up his workout routines by taking so much TRT. And by the way, like I said earlier, not only does he talk openly about taking steroids, but he admits that he's fucking jacked up on it, as in he's taking a lot. And when you combine that with his heavy drinking and his dogshit diet, like we just saw, you've really got to wonder how he's avoided a serious health scare. Eventually, though, after digging deep through Bert's pantry, they finally found something healthy in Bert's diet.
Come on, tuna fish.
Come on, let's
tuna.
go.
You know, the thing with Bert, right, is everyone in the Rogan sphere is given this, like, Bert this speech. But Bert isn't going to have a reality check. I mean, how many times have you seen this already? I came in to watching this knowing this is like, oh, this is just good YouTube content. We're going to talk about it, right? But since I already know this is going to happen, what I really want to say is, who cares? You know, like the health thing, like Bert hasn't ever changed in a year. Bert doesn't want to change. Bert wants to be who he is. The real thing, the root of Bert, where Bert wants to be, is he wants to be like that guy in the party that everybody thought was cool. Like, you know, like the Van Wilder. That is where Bert lives and wants to be all the time. That's his best memory. And so he wants to be that. It's like, who cares anyways? Let him be that. I don't think it's harmful. He's making a lot of these guys tons of money. And what are you going to do if you come down on Bert? You'd have to come down on like what, 70-80% of America? Like this could be like 80%, 70% of America's obese, right? So we could have this conversation with most of the country. You know, it's like, I don't even know, man. I just don't know why they expect Bert's gonna like one day be like, if Bert wants to change, he's gonna have to do it. Like Bert isn't gonna listen to anybody. If he wants to change, he's gonna have to do it. And I don't think these things are like, whoa, big moments for Bert. I think they're great content for Bert, just like it is for all the comedy podcast people. We can make some videos and be like, yep, Bert, you know, Bert. He's entertaining. He's not only entertaining in comedy for people that for some strange reason like him, he's also entertaining for the drama. And that is why we are here, folks. Never forget that.
Let's see if tuna's good.
Come on, tuna.
Tuna's a 90 out of 100.
Yeah,
folks.
Starkist. Yeah, Starkist.
Absolutely. Promo code Starkist.
Starkist just sent me so much tuna.
Tuna's
They
good.
sent me a box of this because of the Matthew McConaughey interview.
Yep.
Okay, hang on. So, the one healthy thing in Bert's pantry is something that can literally poison you in high doses, and by the sounds of things, he's about to binge on that shit. If the alcohol, steroids, and bad diet doesn't kill him, then maybe the mercury poisoning will.
I'm going to get in this. I'm going through my whole thing.
Dude, you get the Yuka app, and I'm telling you, but the only thing, don't scan alcohol. You don't want to see the alcohol. As a matter of fact, when you scan the alcohol, it just says you know what you're doing. That's what it does.
So how much alcohol do you drink?
Me?
Yeah.
I drink. Well, I actually 2 weeks ago I realized, because I'm not usually a big drinker, but 2 weeks ago I realized I just thought back and I drank 31 days in a row. But not drinking to get drunk. I just had a drink.
Yeah, me
You know what I
too.
mean? I just had a little cash
me too.
drink.
Me too, yeah.
But so I've been trying to not drink as much, but I got to be honest with you, babe. Sometimes it's nice just to have a little wine.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a little tequila.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying not to drink tonight,
Okay.
but
You just literally told me you're going to drink before couples therapy, which is in 50 minutes.
no one brought me one.
Right.
I asked when I went to our first couples therapy.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not a deal breaker, but I need to know, is it okay if I come in here drunk every now and then?
What'd you say?
Of course.
100%.
She goes, why
It's a
wouldn't
good
you?
therapist.
Yeah. She goes, I would love to. And then Leanne was like, please, I would love to see for you
Yeah.
to see what you get when you're drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I reckon it's only a matter of time before Bert gets his therapist on the podcast for a public session. I mean, all his appearances basically turn into therapy sessions in one way or another, so it kind of makes sense in a strange way. And I'm not going to lie, I would 100% be down to watch drunken Bert get dunked on by his therapist live on a podcast while wearing a face full of makeup to mask his oily, bloated red face. The guy has literally become a fucking clown. And speaking of clowns, after after Chrissy shamed Bert into improving his diet, they got into some deep comedy assassin talk, you know, the usual breakdown into the intricacies of the comedy art form, such as taking your shirt off and shitting your pants on stage, cause comedian. But the modern-day comedy assassin also concerns himself with his appearance. Basically, it's just like how Hollywood actresses get a bunch of work done so they can keep getting roles as they get older, except with comedians, nobody gives a fuck about their appearance as much as they do for some reason. And so Ari Shafir ended up catching some strays from Chrissy when Bert brought up how he wanted everyone to fly over to Turkey to get hair implants together.
I had a debate with my wife and my parents. So I was thinking everyone's going to get hair transplants.
Everyone's going to Turkey.
Everyone's going to Turkey. As a matter of fact, Ari is just texting me and said, I would like to make a group trip for all of us to go to Turkey together.
They will fucking kill Ari in Turkey. That is the enemy of all enemies. I mean, they couldn't think of a worse person.
I think historically someone did kill Ari's types in Turkey.
I mean, yeah. Dude, Ari's going to be fucking packaged and scanned on the Yuka app after he goes to Turkey. God, I hope somebody kills Ari. He's so great. Just watch him go to hell.
Oh man. I gotta give Chris I gotta give Chris Distefano some points for that. I just, you can't. Sometimes when they do, they do. I mean, is this like, Ari went on that. I did a video about it a little while ago, but Ari went on those British guys. I don't even know who they are. They're annoying. The conservative British guys that go on JRE, and he was just like, yeah, I can't be canceled, like it's all happened before, blah 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 blah. And it's like, but there is a solid case that Ari might not dodge these bullets this time, man. I feel like Ari is in a weird way, like after doing that video about him saying I didn't drug Bert, which, in the video I try to like make it a case, but like, come on, really? And people saw it too. Like I wasn't the only one that's just like, is something coming out about Ari? Or did something bad happen that Ari is trying to like put himself in the good graces before it dropped? Or have people really had enough? Because I also did a special video on Ari and how like even IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, the critics didn't even review his special. Nobody did. It said there's not enough reviews to give a score. And it's just like, it's strange. I'm just saying, keep your eyes out there. I'm saying it's a little weird.
It would be.
It was just comedy. Yeah, all his jokes.
Seriously, has Chrissy D officially been anointed a top 250 comedy assassin by Joe Rogan yet? He went on JRE last month and completed the humiliation ritual of sniffing Joe's armpits, but the rest of the podcast sort of fell apart when Chrissy couldn't light his cigar properly. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, to be honest. Anyway, let's get back to Bert talking about Bert.
I almost wore a collared shirt for this today because I'm at a point where I think I dress like a child.
Right.
Like I dress like a child.
But it's fun. It's you.
I know, but like I start getting like in my head about like, should I be dressing and acting like a 52-year-old?
Right.
Like,
no.
I mean, Sandler sure as hell doesn't.
He doesn't. And look at him.
But he's got like a style.
Right. You have a style. You do. You no shirt, jeans,
no
flip-flops.
shirt.
Most men who wear jeans and flip-flops, I want to walk up to them and say, if you think your wife's not cheating on you, you're mistaken. There's no way she's turned on by seeing your toes. Okay?
Why
but
do
you
New York guys are not a fan of bare feet.
But the way you do it, maybe because you're the opposite of insecure. You're confident with it. And I'm like, that's just Bert being Bert. I mean, you're barefoot. You know what I mean? I'm
barefoot right now.
You're barefoot right now, dude. You make me want to take my shoes and socks off.
Oh, come on, Joe. Give him a spot. Watching Chrissy roast Bert to his face is funnier than anything you've ever done. Let's be honest. But amongst all the banter and shit-talking, Bert almost had a deep realization that he's a massive fucking hack, and it would have been the perfect opportunity for Chrissy to break character and tell Bert to his face that he should think about putting a shirt on and acting his age.
I don't know. I'm going to be litigious with if this comes out wrong.
Okay.
There's a couple comics that don't wear shirts on stage now. It's like a thing.
Right.
And a friend of mine texted it to me. A friend of ours texted it to me and said, this is insane. Like that. You're the first person to ever take his shirt off, and now these people are taking their shirt off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, how many people do you think see me shirtless and go, what the is this guy doing? Because I just did it to him. This f***ing fool with his
Shirt off. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like what?
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, is there a world where I start wearing a shirt on stage?
Yeah.
But here's the deal. I am doing who I am authentically.
Yes.
But then when you see people mimic it, there's a part of you that's like, I don't know.
Well, the
maybe
thing
I
is,
gotta
you
pivot.
wouldn't make it to the level you made it if you were inauthentic. So
Buddy,
that's the thing. It's
here's
all
the deal.
authenticity.
Maybe one day Bert will realize that him being his authentic self is the actual problem. Yeah, nah, that's way too deep for Bert. But
I don't know. You know, there's two routes for Bert. A part of me goes, oh, this guy's completely harmless. Out of all the people in the Rogan sphere, this guy's the most harmless. He's just a guy. You know, okay, I'll tell you who Bert Kreischer is. He's Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. I'm gonna do what? He's gonna do what? You know, Frank the Tank from Old School. That's Bert Kreischer, and that's who he'll always be, and that's just who he is, and that's a part of me. Or otherwise, Bert Kreischer is one of the most sinister human beings ever. And he is playing this character that is Bert Kreischer, knowingly playing up this character, Bert Kreischer, to manipulate all his friends. At the end of the day, no matter what you say about Bert Kreischer, his tour and all his stuff, he's making a lot of money. Tom Segura, I don't think Tom Segura is touching that. Bert Kreischer's probably, besides Joe Rogan, is probably making some of the most money. So the mystery is Bert Kreischer, and I guess that's why we keep trying to analyze him, because we're not completely sure. To just blow him off as an idiot, I don't know. If he is an idiot, he is Frank the Tank, and he's completely that guy. If he is not completely Frank the Tank, then he's varying degrees of evil. My opinion.
towards the end of the podcast, they ended up discussing their goals in life and how they view their own comedy careers, and it's always interesting to see just how different Bert is compared to most other comics. And I was actually surprised to hear some of the shit they were saying about Andrew Schulz. Like, I just couldn't imagine Schultzy saying these things with a straight face, you know, without a hint of irony. The amount of ego that Joe Rogan has fed these guys by giving them so much publicity is wild. This seriously needs to be studied.
Comedy for me, I love doing it. I really do. But I was never the guy that like knew the history of comedy. I didn't watch any comedy movies. I didn't know. I just started doing it as a goof. I was a physical therapist. I did an open mic at the Maui Taco, but I was a physical therapist, like fully, that was my life. And I'm just like been lately questioning, like, is this actually what I want to do though? I don't know if I think it is, but I'm like, I don't know. Cause I see guys that love it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. Like I'm very, 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 very comfortable being in third place. Like Bert, when I mean zero, I'm talking about 0 out of 100 on the Yuka app. Desire to be the best ever. I couldn't care less, dude. I don't want to be the best. That would suck.
I remember Schultz came on my podcast and when I did it out of my house, my old house. And I was like, so what's the goal? And he was like, to be the GOAT. And I was like, what? And he was like, I'm coming after Chappelle and I'm coming after Bill Burr. And I was like, I remember hearing that going like, oh, I just hope they think I'm funny.
Yeah, I don't have that in me at all.
It gets out of control. It gets totally out of control. And then you have 15 people working for you and you've got a vodka company and a 5K and a summer festival and a cruise and an arena tour and a movie and a TV show and another movie and 3 movies in development. And you're writing another movie with another guy. And then you're like, wait, I don't know what did I get into this for? You and Stavi are the 2 people that I look at where you guys completely have no issue stepping back and getting off the merry-go-round.
I have 2 very, very, very specific goals, and I've had them from the beginning. One, the first goal was to have a sitcom about my father, and then the second was to headline Madison Square Garden because I'm from New York, and I'm doing that September 11, 2025. I'm doing the Garden
on September 11.
Yeah, isn't that fucking wild, dude?
you know, you spend your whole life trying to understand humans, and you never do, because how is he filling the garden, or is it because it's on September 11th that the garden will be packed for the memorial, or well, no, that would. I don't know how he's doing it. It's crazy. Come on.
Crazy.
Pre-sale codes Hamas. And so,
Is it really?
no.
Oh my God.
They wouldn't let me.
That's so good.
Yeah. This is what so for me, and it's not about being the GOAT, which I respect. Schultz does it.
Hold on. You realize that if you headline Madison Square Garden, you're putting your name in the hat.
That's what I mean. So on it, but that's the thing for me, is that I couldn't, you want to know my career for real? I'm doing Madison Square Garden, headlining the arena, September 11, 2025. September 19th, your boy's doing the Milwaukee Improv. And I'm not going to sell it out. And that's just what it is.
Bert just told that whole story so he could brag about his achievements and flex on Chrissy, like as if we didn't know about all that shit, and all the extra stuff about having a couple of movies in development was the dead giveaway. Who the fuck is honestly greenlighting another Bert Kreischer movie after the epic failure of the Machine movie? But there's something I've noticed when Bert talks about the younger comics who are rising up now, and it's the way he talks about Shane Gillis. Seriously, every time someone mentions his name, in the next sentence or two, Bert reminds us all that he knew Shane when he wasn't famous, and he helped him to come up by giving him exposure on his tour. It's like watching Pavlov's dog click into gear at the sound of Gillis's name.
My Montreal Just for Laughs class was nuts. It was like Hassan Minaj, Michael Che, Sam Morrill, Mark Normand, Brooks Wheelan. There's there's other people.
Famous.
Oh yeah, dude. Shane, Schultz, they know
They know everyone.
I was at the Laker game with Schultz. We were sitting next to each other, and it was great. And, just get recognized,
How is Chris Distefano in all of these places? And I didn't know Chris Distefano was this huge celebrity. I thought he was on Howard Stern, how Howard Stern would have on weird people, I thought he was one of Joe Rogan's weird people that would come on, every couple of years to just wake up the crowd,
obviously by everyone. But then, the coach of the Lakers is JJ Redick, and they're walking by, and JJ's like, "Oh, what up, Schultz?" And it's just oh, you're just friend,
That's
you just
crazy.
know people.
I'm still not that. I'm always shocked if a celebrity knows me.
Sure.
How many times I've said to people, "You know my name?"
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Shut the f up."
Yeah. I know it's a weird. I mean, but yeah, I mean but I guess because you can't see you from the outside.
I'm always shocked that Shane is as comfortable with his fame as he is, because I remember when he wasn't famous.
Right.
I remember trying to introduce him to Diplo, and he was like, no, just don't. He was so uncomfortable. Last week, I see a picture with him, Guy Fieri, and Diplo.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, and he's totally casual.
Sure. Because, but he's remained who he is, which that's what I love about it. You want to talk about penises?
I think Shane is just a good old Midwest boy. And he's a guy, he has that skill where everyone likes him, he just, that is a skill, folks. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. That everybody likes you kind of vibe. And that's what Shane is. And a lot of his success is because he's relatable that way. And people like that, which I feel like he's losing in a way, but I feel like Shane might be grounded enough to go back to it at some point, but then he's in a relationship, and I feel like that might be weighing on him. It's just an inkling, just a hunch.
Has he ever seen Diplo's dick?
Okay, fuck, let's cut it right there. But did you see how Bert brought up that story about Shane just to remind everyone that he's just as famous as Gillis is, because now he's hanging out with the same people that Bert knows. Bert's definitely feeling his age now. I mean, he's not even that old, but compared to guys like Chrissy, Shane, and Mark Normand, he's almost 20 years their senior. And don't forget, Bert's only been famous for the last 10 years or so, probably not even that. So he's seeing these younger guys coming up in their mid to late 30s, and it's obviously bothering him that it took him so long to get there, and it might be over soon.
But man, I am look back and I am so f***ing lucky that I took my shirt off.
Yeah.
I posted that machine clip and I met Joe Rogan. Those
Yeah.
are my three things.
Three things.
Like if I didn't post a machine, no, I'd just be like a regular guy that did Rogan a couple
You'd
times.
be dead in St. Louis. Yeah. You'd be shirtless, dead in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear Bert say that out loud without realizing the irony of how much he brags about his fame and fortune, knowing that he was propped up by the rise of social media and all the exposure from dozens of appearances on Rogan's podcast. But it looks like the newer breed of comedy assassins seem to be more self-aware and willing to accept they're not God's gift to the earth. Just
Do they? Oh, like, is it? I get it. Maybe. Is Chris Distefano maybe, but the rest of them? Well, I guess, the problem with these guys, and I guess with everybody, is I look at them just by their comedy. So when I look at their comedy, I just think they're a bad person because their comedy's bad. But I have to remind myself, like, no, like, are they generally? I think that, like, Theo Von he's good on the podcast. I think they're all podcasters probably, because it's the same with Mark Norman and Theo Von. Their comedy is terrible, but their podcasting is fun. Maybe everyone's not a comedian. Like, I have no desires to be a comedian. I don't even think I'm funny. So I know that, I shouldn't be a comedian, but I do like talking about comedians. Yep, there it is.
Just in case you didn't know though, Bert's new comedy special called Lucky comes out on March 18th, so I'll probably end up doing a review over on Patreon, as well as for Andrew Schultz's latest comedy special, which drops on Netflix today, I think. Bert's actually taking the summer off though from touring for the first time in years, and he mentioned on Theo's podcast how he was starting to feel depressed once he realized he was just going to be sitting around every day while all the other comics he knows were out there on tour doing their thing. So I'm sensing that he's starting to burn out after all these years of partying hard and touring around the world, in addition to his podcasting commitments and all the businesses he's involved in. He also mentioned that he felt like his material was starting to get stale and he needed the time off to actually live his life and find new material instead of constantly performing and not having the time to get inspiration for new bits. So it's going to be interesting to see what his new special is actually like, and also what he does after that, because this will be his 6th comedy special, and now that his daughters are off to college, he's probably going to struggle to find material to work with since he no longer has unfiltered access to their personal lives. Anyway, make sure you check out the links below or just head straight over to podcastcringe.com and check out all my latest merch designs. Otherwise, sign up to my Patreon via the link in the description for my
the guy on the
uncensored
shark that
content.
nobody
And
understands.
don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel on
Yes,
YouTube.
go
while
like
you're
and
here.
subscribe.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you,
I'll catch you
Podcast
in the
Cringe.
next one.
By the way,
There it is, another episode of the Bert Kresicher telenovela. It is something, man. Bert Kreischer's interesting. I don't know why anybody expects any serious guy. This guy, you want my honest opinion? The way he's looking now is that stage before things go wrong. Bert Kreischer looking like he has too much alcohol. And it's starting to hurt him real bad. And he looks like he's in that stage before it gets real bad. That's my honest opinion. But you can't really tell people what to do because nobody knows. And some people just live their lives in disagreement with other people. But it makes for good YouTube content. I'm not going to lie.
Know you like to bang, you don't stay.